Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of iChat, your number one lifestyle show. Alright, let's get into it. Anyways, I am Jeffy and with me is my co-host Bella. So today we want to talk about something quite important to every one of us at this time of the year. I feel it's something that is going through the mind of every one of us in one way or another. Two different dimensions, and that is, let me call it 2024 recap. Spotify gave us what we call Spotify Wrapped, right? I'm giving you a summary of your listening experience over the year. So now we want to do a personal assessment, and as we discuss and as you watch, I would like you to also do an assessment of yourself also listening. The questions we ask yourself the same questions, and we see how we can learn from one another. All right, so Bella.
Yeah.
How has been 2024?
2024 has been 2024.
Use one word to describe 2024.
One word to describe 2024. I would call it insightful.
That was hard. Insightful. Would you like to expatiate a little on why you call it insightful?
Okay, so 2024 was insightful for me because it's like the first year I saw basically. And what I saw was more of like people's hard work, people putting in the work, and seeing them reap their results. So I saw, my eyes were open to see, and all I saw was the efforts people were putting in. And it made me to decide that in 2025 I want to do what they did, because putting in effort into whatever you're doing is what actually will bring you results. It's not about wishing, it's not about dreaming, being so delusional and all that. It's about putting in the work. Once you put in the work, you're guaranteed to at least make an effort. See results to an extent. So that's why I would say it's insightful. And not just on that part. In my own personal life too, I've come to see a lot more about myself. I've come to understand a lot more about myself. And I've come to finally accept a part of me that maybe I would say I've been kind of so skeptical about accepting. So seeing that so this is me, and that is who I just have to be. Just seeing that, I would say, is what really made 2024 for me.
All right. That is kind of in line with what I will say. The one word I will use to describe my 2024 is the one word I will use though, and let me point out something. The reason I'm using that word is because of the things clouding my mind right now, because 2024 was more than that. Or maybe I should change it to this word. The word I wanted to use before was enlightening, but I think I will change it to mixed feelings. I think I'll change it to mixed feelings because 2024 was full of a lot for me.
Definitely.
At the beginning of the year, I did not feel like living. If not that I'm a Christian, I probably would have committed suicide at the beginning of the year. I had a lot of down moments in 2024. I was depressed. I would say I was depressed for a larger part of 2024. And the reason why I would say use the word enlightening, though my word is mixed feelings. But mixed feeling contains a lot of things. It contains joy, it contains sadness, it contains a lot of things. One of the angles of the mixed feelings is the enlightenment that I talked about. I got to know more about humans. Because you realize a lot when you are at your lowest.
Yes.
As a human being. And let me say I was at my lowest, not financially, but in life. Not financially. This year was kind of good for me financially to an extent. But yeah, that's how you will know that what they say sometimes is true, that money is not everything. Because this year was one of my best financially, actually. But it was my worst when it comes to emotions. I was the downest part of me this year. And because of that, my eyes were open to see about humans, know what is really in the heart of humans. And not to say a lot, not to say too much. That's what I would say. There's so much I can still say. If I continue talking, everybody will get emotional. But yeah, that's what 2024 has been like for me. So Bella, would you say you have any regrets in the year 2024?
In the year 2024, I don't think I'm the kind of person to regret stuff. The reason being that I know that I'm bound to make a lot of mistakes. So at the moment, yes, maybe I did something wrong, and I tend to forget stuff like really fast. So I might have forgotten it and I don't remember it, so I don't feel regretful towards it. And that, I think that's just like it. So I don't think I don't have any regretful moments in 2024. But of course I had like really down times, right? I had, oh my goodness, this year the word mixed feelings, right, is like, I would say like that is the word for this year. That is the word for this year, because this year I saw myself in the lowest. I experienced things that I would say I've never experienced before. I saw things I would say I never saw before. I never thought that a whole me, President General among the nation, a whole me would experience those kind of emotions and every, but none of it will make me feel regretful, because at every point in it, there was something I picked from it. There was something I could see that, okay. And funnily, every bit of it, I was able to come out of it. So there was no event. Like I said before, I don't remember a lot of things that happened. Not that I don't remember, but like, it's not something that sticks to my head. So I don't feel regretful for anything. I don't feel.
See, I don't know if I can say I feel regret about any part of the year. What I would say is I lived, the life was like a regret. I don't know how to explain it. I won't say I have any point in the year 2024 that I regret like that as a year, right? But it feels as if the year itself was regret.
How so?
It feels as if I was living in regret.
Of what?
If regret was a year,
so yeah, 2024
is regret.
Regret. Wow.
For me, that's what I would say. Because what makes someone want to commit suicide? What makes you feel like life is not worth it anymore?
Would that be regret or deep pain?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, but I can't say, when you're at your downest times, what is there to regret? You get, so if you are living in the gutter, and then maybe you lived in the gutter from January to December to November, and then in December you finally rolled out of the gutter, will you say you regret being in the gutter? Or is there any part of being in the gutter you regret? No. So if I wanted to regret anything, the regret will not be this year. It will be, what you regret is how you got into the gutter. Yes. But 2024 was not the year you got into the gutter. So in 2024 itself was the gutter. So you won't say that you regret any part of it, because it was just, we were just rolling in the gutter, right? Trying to find a way out. So that's why I would say that 2024 was the gutter. It was the regret.
At what point did it become the gutter? Has it been like
from
that
the
from
beginning? From day one.
From January 2024.
I'm serious. From day one.
So what do you think it is that you're regretting?
I don't know. That's why it feels as if it's life I was regretting. It feels as if I regretted my life. If that makes sense.
You regret
being alive.
The life you have.
Exactly. Like, this is the 1 year I would say I hated my life. At the point, like, you stay and say that I hate my life.
Well, if something like that happens, then there are certainly like trigger points. So what do you think triggered all of those things? What events? What?
I felt like if we ever had something called a previous life, it felt like I lived as a very wicked person in the past, in my past life. So it was feeling as if this life I'm living is like a punishment for the wickedness I lived in the previous life. That's how I felt.
I really think you need therapy. Now, do you know why I say so?
Why would you say so?
I say you need therapy because maybe there is something you're not conscious of. Probably things that have happened that you're not conscious of. It might not be like it's something that happened in the past, probably when you were like little, but like things that might have like happened, and then because out of protecting yourself, you have it in your subconscious, and then it's giving you so much pain. Because for you to consider, I mean, if you were to regret something, it has to be like something you did, something that you happened, and then you regret making a particular decision, right? Or maybe stuff like that. But like to say that you regret your life, whatever age you're in right now, you regret, probably you are 27, you're 28, you're saying you regret 28 years of your life. You regret being alive. So why do you regret being alive? When throughout, probably like from age 1 to 10, you never knew what you were doing, and at like probably 13, that's when you started realizing, okay, this is that, and stuff like that. So why would you say you regret a whole 28 years of life when actually you were only conscious of about probably like 15 or so?
You know that life is a journey.
Sure.
So it felt as if everything I've been living for the past how many of my life, how many years, was leading to here.
Okay.
You get, if you are driving to Lagos now, you pass through potholes, you pass through Ibadan Expressway, you pass through different places to get to Lagos.
Okay.
Now imagine you are driving and where you are going to is, let's say you are driving to Hellfire.
Okay, so we can basically say that you had a destination.
It felt like 2024 was the destination of the past years of my life, and 2024 was bad.
Okay, so let me see if I understand what you're saying. So I'll take it as, okay, you had a destination, you had the plan, and like you said, you're traveling to somewhere, and then you meet potholes, this and that, but you still know that you eventually get to your destination, right? But then you did not get to your destination.
No, but then the destination you thought was a destination happened to be something you don't like. For example, you think you are driving to heaven, but you ended up driving to hell. That's what it felt like. It's not as if you were ignorant of where you were going, but you just did not know that this is where I was going. You thought you were going somewhere else, but then you ended up in this place that is not what you bargained for.
Okay, so can you give me a practical example of like
That turned into the
you
host of this show.
in the scenario? because I really want to know what
the
it
thing
might
is,
mean.
I'm trying not to say too much on this podcast because this is going to be very public. I actually know some of the trigger points myself, but I'm trying not to say too much. But let me try to use one more example to try to explain what I mean by this. By meaning that it felt as if my life is regret in 2024. Imagine someone being born as a giant,
Okay.
and then you realize that being a giant is sin. You get, so it feels as if, and then the giant is realizing that at maybe the age of 52.
Damn.
Right, and it's realizing that
the person will definitely regret the whole life.
so what is the purpose of everything that has happened if
the whole
my
I've
life
lived.
is sin? You know the way the Bible describes giants, right? They are born of the Nephilim or something. So is, you know, human beings, we have a place in heaven.
Yeah.
We have an option to choose, but it feels as if giants did not have the option, because the fact that they are giants, they're already doomed for somewhere. So imagine a giant finally coming to the realization that, oh, so the mere fact that I'm born like this means that I'm doomed for hell. That feeling is what I felt.
Definitely, the person will feel regrets.
Exactly.
So I think in as much as I will not say I understand like the scenarios, the main thing, but definitely with what you said, it's obvious the person will feel regrets, and I don't know if there's a way out of that, but then I would like to ask again.
Okay.
I'm the host of the show. What's your issue? So I would like to ask then, for someone who feels regret, I mean, of course, you know the trigger points and all. So, and this is year 2024 ending. I mean, it's going to be, how many days do you have in December? Is it 30 or 31?
31.
31. So in just few days, it's going to be 31st of December.
Yeah.
And very soon we're going to shout, Happy New Year! So, do you intend to keep feeling regret in 2025?
No. Remember I said something at the end. I said it's as if you're in a gutter from January to November, and then in December it's as if you finally rolled out.
Okay, so 2024 is like the stopping point of that regret.
I hope so, but I feel like most of the storm has been weathered.
Okay.
I feel like the darkest moment have passed. That's what I personally feel.
That's a good one.
I feel like the angles, I don't know if it actually has, but it feels as if you know, if you are in a storm in the desert, you know, the desert is desert sand, right? So it's blinding you and everything. Let's say you are driving and then you are in a desert storm, and because of that you don't know where to drive or you don't know where to walk because it's the desert. You can't see, and yet you don't know where to put your feet. You know, the desert sand can be soft sometimes, but then you suddenly, because you are in the storm, you are still in the storm, but being in the storm, you finally are able to create something like a sunshade that first of all blocks your eyes from the dust. Now, good, you can keep your eyes open. Now, the next point, you are able to create a light. If you are driving in mist or in the desert, you will want to turn on the lights of your car
so you can see.
Now, you might be confused because you think the lights are for darkness, but mist looks white. So you might be confused that, am I supposed to put on the light? So you've been going in the mist, not knowing exactly what to do. But then suddenly you realize that, oh, if I put on my light, it's a bit clearer. So you put on your light, you are wearing the sunshade. And now, in the desert, there are things called, I think they call them dunes. The edge where you walk that is safe. Because if you walk somewhere else, you can get swallowed in sand. You can sink in the sand. So you find the dunes. I'm not sure if the word is dune, but I think that's the word. And then you walk on that place. So now you can keep your eyes open. You have your light, and then you can find the dunes, but you're still in the storm. But now you are more hopeful because at least now you are not at the mercy of the storm.
True.
Now you have some control to an extent over the storm. So I would say that is the point I am right now. I will say I found my glasses, I found my light, and I found the dunes.
That's a good one. That's relieving actually, because then there is hope.
Exactly.
And if you keep going, certainly you would surely see.
By the grace of God.
I know, right? So, that's really a sad one.
I know, right?
I mean, for the fact that you're someone I've known, and I did not know all that. Me that thought you were balling life, you were living such like a king. I did not know all of that, but then it's okay because I mean, there was no way I would ever have helped you out of it.
So, to lighten stuff a little, let's now go to another angle. Every year comes with its own challenges, that's sure. By challenges, it means there will always be downtimes.
Definitely.
Even for the best of the best years, it will come with its own challenges, right?
Definitely.
So we all have challenges, but what we pray for every year is that we don't experience tragedy, because you can prepare for challenges, you can't prepare for tragedy. Nobody prepares for tragedies, right? So that's just the thing. So now, from the challenges of 2024, what are the things, or let me say, what were your challenges and what did you learn from 2024 that you feel will make 2025 a better year?
Okay, so in this year 2024, I experienced a lot actually, and for it being that 2024 was more like, I started the year out in fear, right? I was so scared because I really did not know what 2024 was going to be like. When I thought about it, sometimes I cried about it because it's like I can't figure it out. So what is supposed to happen to me? It's like I didn't have my touch. I was in the whole, right? So I didn't have my touch, I didn't have my glasses on and all that. So I was just there, and I don't think I'll be the type to like move in the whole situation. I'll just like stand still, yeah, and try to like understand first. So basically, ending of 2023, I would say I was just standing and looking. But all I felt was fear, and I was scared, and it made me cry because not being able to figure out the year, not even like figure out, but you know, like you could say that your January will be like, oh, this is what I'm coming to January with. But I didn't have anything like that. So I was just scared and I was crying. And then one thing I would always say to myself is, if I'm feeling scared of something, then there's something there. There's a big stuff I'm supposed to gain out of it that the fear doesn't want me to have access to, right? So I started out the year in fear, and now moving on, certainly the year started out good, even if I started out in fear, right? It got to a point where everything was going good and all that, and then it got to a point where it felt like there was nothing. I basically had nothing, and that would be around April. Financially, I had nothing, and just by the grace of God, from January to that January, February, March, I made a loss that basically took me through 3 months later, or probably like. So
you were prepared for the famine.
I was prepared for it, not even knowing that
there was famine.
There was, yeah. So that helped me through it. And then one of the challenges I would say I really faced the most this year is emotional challenge. It's one that I've never felt before. It wasn't loneliness. I felt I was coming in and out of depression. No, I will not even say I was coming in and out of depression. I was at the brink of depression. I was standing there.
You were entering sometimes, coming out sometimes.
Exactly. So I was there, and when I clocked a new year, everything changed for me. I could not understand the emotions I felt. I felt tired. There was this unwillingness that came. It felt like I lost strength. I lost control. I lost sight. Everything I thought I had to overcome the storm were all gone. And funnily, I did not know when I did not know when I lost them. I just knew that I had lost them. And like I would always do, I stood still. I don't know, but I feel safe being still and try to,
Like if you are lost in a room and it's dark, it's safest to just stand where you are.
Exactly.
Until you can figure out something.
Exactly. So during those times, I cried a lot.
Crying is part of the standing still.
Yeah, because crying helps me relieve my inner emotions that probably I don't know are there. So I cried a lot. Like I did not have anybody to talk to, but I felt it wasn't something I could talk to people about. Right? It's not like anything, not as though something happened that made me feel like that. But I was feeling burnt out. I felt like the world should just end at that moment because there was no reason to keep living. I'm somebody that usually I want goals.
About life.
I'm enthusiastic about life, right? Not as though I have a lot of dreams, but then I'm always up and going. But at this time, I saw myself like there was nothing. I could not even help myself out of it. There are some situations I found myself in, and I knew this is exactly what I need to do to get out of it. But this one, I did not know. And I will not lie to you, up to right this moment, I do not know. And so I watched the days pass. I watched myself cry so bitterly sometimes. This kind of, the kind of crying you cry that you feel pain in the deepest of yourself. I cried like that. I will cry, no sort of willingness, no strength. I would basically say at that point, I was down everywhere. Spiritually, mentally, financially, physically, I was down. I don't know what caused it. Neither do I know how to get out of it.
And like right now, you've not gotten out of it.
I won't say I have, but things have gotten just
a bit
better. So like that's like I would say that lies like the most challenge I faced this year. Emotional. And then it not clicked to my head like, why is it when I clocked a new year that I had to experience this? Because yes, I've had down times. I've had times I felt lonely and all that, but I could figure my way out of it. I could just like shake myself out of it. But this one, I could not. It was different. I did not know where it was coming from. I mean, for someone who prays daily, I got to the point where I'll pray today. Tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll pray. I mean, the next day I'll wake up, I'll be like, should I pray? Should I not pray? Stuff like that. And I wasn't willing to work. The things that gave me joy, nothing was giving me joy. At the point I was like, boy, I'm depressed me now. If you should even invite me to anywhere, I will not even go. Like, I was in that whole situation and I did not know what to do. That I'm smiling right now, I don't know what happened. All I know is that I don't know if I'm out of the storm yet. I don't know if I found my glasses. I don't know if I found my light.
Are you still standing still?
I'm not standing still, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Ooh.
I'm not standing still, but what I'm doing, I don't know. And what did I learn from it? I really do not know. But one of the things I would say I learned this year is trust. It is actually trust. Like, I had like financial downtimes a lot this year, and I would say God came through for me at every point of it. And I feel like in the terms of trust that I'm supposed to learn this year, I feel like I failed. Like, I mean, when the year was ending, like when we entered December, right? I don't know. I kind of just thought about the year and I felt sorrow in my spirit. And the next thing that came to my head was, I failed.
So basically, you feel like you failed this year.
Yes. In trust, yeah, I failed. Yeah, basically, I'll say I failed this year.
Anyways,
right?
You know what? We're going to come back to this discussion on the next episode of podcast, because our time is gone a lot. And to put this on a lighter mood, let me share my major challenge this year and what I'm learning from it and taking into the next year. My major challenge this year was people. I experienced a lot with people. Let me say, because of what I experienced with people, a lot of things over the past 5 years, a lot of experiences I've gathered over the past 5 years revealed the true nature of people around me. And the good part of this is that, first of all, I shed my friends. I got rid of most of the friends I thought I had, and then I just stayed there. And somehow, a new set of friends started coming in, right? I'm still accessing them, but they feel better, let me see, than the past set. And what I'm taking out of this is that, first of all, for a major part of your life, you are alone. Like, not to say it in a bad way, but you have to put yourself first. That's one major thing I learned this year, because every other person around you, nobody puts you first. I'm someone that usually puts people first. I put people around me first. I can sacrifice myself for people. But realizing how people actually are, because I had my downtimes this year. I was the lowest this year emotionally. I keep on saying, not financially. That's why I now believe when they say that money is not everything. I had my lowest emotionally, and emotional downtime makes me feel like it's the time when my friends should turn up the most. Because I don't need your money. You know, if it's that I was financially down now, it would be as if I'm a burden, in the sense that I need money.
Yeah.
But I did not need money. What I needed was emotional support. And it was as if I couldn't find any. So let me just say, the true nature of human being got revealed to me, and it became obvious to me that in this life, the people that will really love you to the heart, to the core, till the end of your life might just be like two. Even among that your family. I'm not trying to break your family, but even among your family, the truth is that everybody is selfish, and most people put themselves first. Everybody have their life to live. So if you're like me that is living for people, you might want to rethink. Not that you should not be sacrificial or anything, but make sure you put yourself first. Rounding up, that is why the Bible said, love your neighbor as yourself. Somebody explained that it means you can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. And you can't love your neighbor more than yourself.
Because you cannot give what you do not have.
Sometimes you are trying to be sacrificial. Sometimes I put people first. It doesn't mean I don't have love. It doesn't mean I don't have love within me. But I'm putting you first. But what I'm learning from that statement is that I should put myself first. And the level I put every other person in my life must never pass me. That is, I must not sacrifice for you more than I will sacrifice for me, except I want to die for you. Jesus said that that's the highest level of love.
Yeah.
Except I want to die for you. I should never put somebody above me again in terms of sacrifice or anything. And the person, according to the Bible, the person as a guy, the person that was supposed to be on that level ground with me, that I love to the point I love myself equally, is my wife. Because the Bible says, love your wife like she's one body with you. So that is my own roundup phrase or term for this episode, for today's episode.
It means that I do not have what I'm taking into 2025.
So
no, let me tell you what I'm taking into 2025.
Okay, please keep it brief. Time is.
Yes. Now that I said that, I saw people putting their hard work.
Yes. So you're taking in your hard work. That's good.
Yes.
So we didn't plan for this episode to be this down. It felt as if it was very down. So it's not the plan at all. I watched somebody else's podcast and thought that it's the end of the year. They did a recap, so we should also do a recap. But it turned out somehow. But I believe joy is coming. And I believe there is light at the end of the tunnel. So let us know your answers to these questions we asked in the comment section, and let us know what topics you would like us to deal with on the next episode. And we will see you on the next episode.
See ya.
You're welcome.